Welcome back. This is June, the second part. I've done quite a bit since last time actually, so let's start from the fuel part. No, fuel filter. Fuel filter's in. I've reconditioned it. I've changed. There's a gauze inside there, which is like a filter. That's been changed. It's all been cleaned up. The other thing I was a little bit concerned with, this little bit there. This is the on and off part. There's like a little rubber grommet in there, like a seal. I couldn't get another one, so I tried to clean the other one up and put it in, so I'm not 100% sure that's going to leak or not. As we come up here, we've got the fuel pump in there. I've had to fit it twice because the first time I put it upside down. It's up the right way now. Bit of hindsight really, I should have tested it. I did take it apart. There's a, can't really see it, but right underneath the bottom there's a filter. That's all changed, brand new filter in there. I did split it apart just to see what condition it was in, and the diaphragm seems okay. The bit I was annoyed with is this gasket here I could reuse, which is actually fine, but that one there just tore apart. So I did have some gasket paper, but it was only for oil and water, and I brought some off eBay, and it said it's ideal for petrol. And believe it or not, it come through exactly the same as what I already had, so I've used it anyway. So the worst comes to the worst, I just have to replace that. So all these unions, they're all sort of tightened up nicely now. The only thing I've got to do is there's another bolt, this framework underneath that I haven't put in yet. The reason I didn't put it in because I wanted to get the steering box in, and I wasn't 100% sure the steering box goes in with the petrol pump still there, and apparently it does. So the steering box is in there now. Again, that's all been reconditioned, all take apart, fully greased, nice grease snip on there. What I will do with that one, I might put one with a 90-degree bend in it so you can get it from underneath. So I don't think you better get it from there, or get one of these slide-on ones. That's all done. Again, we've got the compulsory metric bolts, three of them. That one there is an Imperial one. I left it in there because the bolt was actually obviously corroded into the casting of the steering box, so I didn't want to try and break that. How have we got now? Well, actually, I'll go inside and show you, but these bolts here, there's one there, one in the middle, and one there. I've actually put a big plate on the inside of the footwell, and that's what strengthens it up, because where this bit bolts here, it actually bolts through the bulkhead. It's not very good fixing, it's just rely on the strength of the bulkhead, but in the back here, and the other side, there's a big piece of plate. So that's that part there. The wiring, you might have noticed the wiring sort of not neat in there. This part down here, I think it's about there somewhere. There's a lot of these bullet connectors. I've got rid of all of them. What I've done is soldered them all together and put some heat shrink or heat wrap or whatever you call it on it. And I've actually covered the wiring loom with some nice proper tape. Let's see, the wiring loom comes up here, up to the front. It's all clipped in nicely now. The other part of the wiring loom is through there, which it's a 7-core cable which will go to the back of the landy. I think that's about it. Nothing else to see in the front here. Well, I have made a start on the wiring. There's still a bit of a mess, but I'm sort of getting there. I'm just doing sort of one circuit at a time. But what I've done on here, I put a 6-way fuse box in there, which is quite a modern one. So it's got these lights on there, and when you've got bright blown fuse, all the lights come up. And it does, it's a really slim fit, and it does actually fit when the dashboard's all closed up. It fits here behind nicely. I've just got to make sense of a lot of these wires, because these two wires here were connected to, I can't see it, that's in the way, it's not going to focus, but that's the back of the fuel gauge. There does seem to be a component missing. There's like I think they call it a connection box. So I'll have to make sense of that. It's obviously something not right here, because look, you don't get all these little fuses there. These are all aftermarket ones. So that one there again, where's that fed from? That's from the ignition. Anyway, I've got to I'll do one circuit at a time and we'll go from there. Yeah, we've got the lower windscreen rubber on there. Well, just pressed on there at the moment. I've got a bit hesitant really to sort of cut it. I want to leave it on there for a while in case it shrinks. And I actually want to get some sealer under there. Little, well, I don't think it come under there, but I just want to put a little dab of sealer under there to make sure no water runs under there. But that looks a lot better already. Oh, that's the bit I was on about. Again, I don't know if it's going to focus or not. No. Yeah, junction box. That little junction box there. It isn't anywhere. I think it's sort of must have broken years ago and been cut out. I've had a look online and like John Craddock's and all places like that. These junction boxes are really expensive, so that's probably the reason why it's cut out. Back again to the wiring, which is that's the only wire I can't find out where it goes. It's brown and yellow, and it's quite a long wire, so it probably goes to the engine somewhere. It's probably a temperature gauge or something like that, so we'll find that out later. Alright, the only thing I forgot to mention is going to be a cutout, well there is a cutout now, it's under the passenger seat. I'll see on the other side, that side there is going to go to the battery, that one's going to go obviously to the starter motor, and also it's going to go up to the fuse box. I forgot to mention the fuse box here. I'm actually going to put a 35 amp relay, so when the ignition switch goes on it actually energises the six-way fuse box. Right, steering column's in. Again, I had to change the imperial bolts for metric, which are all in there now. This round there was supposed to be a bit of rubber, but I've got some rubberised tape and put round there instead. I need to take a little bit more of it off because I really want to close that gap up a little bit more. That's it really, so the steering column's all in there, all nicely bolted. This bit here, don't know if you can see, it's too many wires in the way. But apparently sort of years ago it was involved in a bit of an accident. I think somebody's leg was involved in it, it broke, pushed all this up. So that become a repair later on. I just need to sort of sort these wires out because there's too many wires here at the moment. Oh, the other thing I've got to mention, there's a gaiter missing, which is sort of, I'll show you this pencil, look, is there. But I'll probably do that afterwards because I'm quite keen to get the Landrover together and get it all up and running. The bit I had the most problem with, which you won't believe really, is this piece here. I thought it was just a straightforward bolt together job, but it wasn't. It took me hours and hours to get that in there, you wouldn't believe it. I had to sort of cut little pieces out on here to make it fit, and I scratched the chassis, which I didn't really want to do. But it's all in there. I don't know if you can see or not, but you can see how far it is out down there on the slot. I had to elongate the slot and the other slot vertically to try and get this piece here all in line. So anyway, it's in there. It's all nicely bolted down. The seat tub, the bolts are just through there at the moment, no nuts on them. Ooh, sorry about that. Apart from that one, obviously I've got these sides here to do, but they're just a case of drilling through and bolting. And the other bit we got is this gap here. I know we talked in the past about the cross member or outrigger was the wrong one for the job, but that's today's project. I'm going to make a little spacer up there to go in between here. I'm not sure I'm going to do it yet, but I've got a nice new bolt going right way through at the moment, which is a nice sort of fit. So that's today's project, and what I'll do when I've done all these bits and pieces, I'll probably go back over it all and touch with a brush and touch a few bits and pieces up. Oh, the only thing I forgot to mention was the door, because the width of the garage, it wouldn't actually allow me to open the door right up and slot it in, so unfortunately I had to take all the original nuts and bolts out, which is these ones here, and just bolt it back on again, bolt the hinges on while it's in situ. So that's not a mistake, but I couldn't re-odds it really. If I wanted to get the door on, I had to take him off. So that's pretty much it. Well, thanks for watching, and we're back shortly. Bye now.